Goodness, so this is just like a little disclaimer. So this is my monthly Christmas card inspiration video, and it is typically done on the first of each month. I do this to give you a little bit of inspiration to create fairly simple and easily duplicatable type of cards. This is geared towards those of you that like to create your Christmas cards throughout the year. Bear with me here for a second. I just want to make sure, yeah, my thing's sliding here. Just want to make sure everything is kind of lined up. It'd be nice to do this before I hit go live. Unfortunately, every single time I set my video to go horizontal in orientation, yeah, it always wants me to go and change the direction of my phone before I actually go live. So, I think we are good, and this thing isn't focusing in and out. Okay, so where was I? So, um, usually my videos will be done in advance, and they're scheduled for like 5 a.m. Central Time, on the days that they're supposed to be posted. Um, Earlier in the week, so um, like, well, this week, because technically I'm filming this on a Sunday evening, I would have my Throwback Thursday video done. Of course, I do my Friday Night Live, and then so forth and so forth. However, last week was like one of those weeks where work was very busy, and of course, by the time I'm done, I'm tired and all that. And sometimes, and I know this happens to some people, that there are just some bundles or stamp sets or suites that the ideas come together very, very quickly, and they get prepped and everything's good to go. Sometimes I come across some sets that, I don't know, it takes a little bit to figure out what to do and to get some inspiration by going out on Pinterest and stuff. Sometimes there's not a whole lot of ideas out there. So, that was one of the reasons why my Throwback Thursday actually didn't get done until tonight. So it's kind of like out of order. It should have been before, my Friday Night Live, but it's done. Also, my paper pumpkin. I got my paper pumpkin a few days ago. The plan was to do it on Saturday. However, that didn't happen. In my defense, I will say that we started to kind of do a little bit of tidying up in the studio, and one of the things was all the cards that I had. So a majority of the cards that I have made over the years, cards that were sent to me, they're just cards all over the place in the studio. And so um, we started to sort through them and put them, like all birthday together, all thank you together, and so forth and so forth. And there's just a lot. And so the video didn't get done until today. So those videos are done. They are already out there. They are posted. So if you want to check out the paper pumpkin unboxing and assemble, it was to celebrate spring. In that video, I showed you the suite of products that's in our current mini catalog that coordinates with it. Very super cute kit. I'm going to tell you that right now. Very cute. I think with that kit, I just may order the refill kit for it because it is sitting out there right now. So what I'm going to be using for my monthly Christmas card inspiration is the Sign Design Bundle. So it is the photopolymer stamp set, and then it's also the coordinating sign design punch. Now, I will let you know, so at the time of me recording this, again, it's kind of like after midnight on Sunday night. What is it? Well, technically it's March 2nd. Looking on the website, so these items are on the last chance list. Uh, the best deal to get this would not be ordering it through the bundle item number. it would be for ordering it by the individual item numbers. So the stamp set alone is 166050, and the punch itself is 166056. So the reason why you want to purchase these separately would be, if you're interested in it, is that the stamp set was originally $19 and is marked down to $17.10. The punch was originally $25 and it is marked down to $20. So the bundle price, if you were to get them together, would be $39.50. If you order them separately, the price would be $27.10. So you are saving a little bit by purchasing separately rather than using that item number as the bundle. So with this set, you do have like some of your greetings. You got your Christmas, a Happy New Year. You do have some stuff that you can stamp on the inside. So you got Christmas, New Year's. You have Halloween. Um, you have like your Thanksgiving, season of thanks. You have like this one decorative border, and then you have this one that says Merry and Bright. So the Merry and Bright is what I'm going to be using on our projects. And then again, this is the Sign Design coordinating punch. So unfortunately, the punch is not carrying over. That is also on the last chance list. So last chance list, items that end up on the last chance list, once they're gone for good. So it's while supplies last. I'm not seeing that they're on low inventory at the moment, but that can change at any moment. So I just want to make mention of that. If you like the projects I did and you like the versatility with using this bundle. Now what's nice with the punch, you can use it with other stamp sets, with greetings. Other than what's on here, you can, whatever greeting you have that'll fit in that opening, then it'll work with that as well. So let me put this aside and let me bring in the first project that we're going to do. So the first project is one that basically it's the only Christmas card that is, when you look at the bundle, there is like a sample card that they do show. So I have kind of cased it, but I changed it up a little bit. So their card has a red, it looks like a poppy parade colored card base, and it's got like a centerpiece that goes across the middle that was die cut in shaded spruce. Now I want to do something a little different, and I wanted to use the two-tone cardstock. I was going to do a red card base, and I was going to use shaded spruce two-tone. However, out of all the two-tone cardstock that I have, I don't have no shaded spruce. So I reversed it and I used the green background, and then I'm using this piece. So what I have here for my card base, again, it's shaded spruce, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Then again, this is a piece of Poppy Parade two-tone cardstock that measures 4.25 by 2. And then I have a scrap piece of basic white that I'm going to stamp my greeting and then punch out. So for this, I'm going to bring in my shaded spruce ink, and I'm going to bring in the stamp that I'm going to use. You can see what Cherry Cobbler does. It does stain. It does stain the stamp, but the stamp is clean, so it's still going to work fine. It's just a little stained. And the other stamp I'm going to use, there's this little dot that's in here. So I'm going to pull that out. Okay, I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. And get my foam folder. Now the cards that I made, I did not add like any embellishments to it. However, It's your card. If you want to add embellishments, go right ahead. I basically did it as kind of like as a time saver type of thing, you know, to get these cards done. But again, they're fairly quick and they're fairly, you know, simple to put together. All right, so I'm going to take my foam piercing mat, okay, and then I'm going to take my shaded spruce ink and I'm going to ink up my greeting. Looks like my shaded spruce may be starting to get a little bit dry. All right, and so I'm going to stamp this right here. Okay, and then I'm going to quickly go and clean my stamp. Got my chamois here, so a little squeaky. And how I end up always with ink on my fingers, I don't know. Don't know. And it just, it happens, but usually it doesn't. So, all right, now I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to let that dry before I punch it out. So my card base, I'm going to bring this in, and this little dot that's part of the stamp set, I want to start randomly stamping dots on my card base here. So just some random I'm not even really thinking about it. I'm just stamping some spots. Now kind of like in this middle area, I'm going to have that Poppy Parade two-tone cardstock piece. So I'm not so concerned about the middle, but just to kind of go with the flow of adding all these dots. Put one right there. Add one in the corner. There. Add one there. I think that's good. We don't need to go crazy on the dots. Just to add a little bit of interest on our card base. So clean that off. We'll close up our ink. Okay, so what I'm going to do on my two-tone cardstock, so one side is the darker and the other is the lighter, so I'm going to have my dark side facing up. So the one thing about the two-tone cardstock, what I like about it, so the two-tone cardstock came around the time when the Close to My Heart makers, I think that's what they were referred to, came on board with Stampin' Up. This was one of the things Stampin' Up did come out with, and the two-tone cardstock in our Stampin' Up colors. What's different about this as opposed to our regular cardstock is the color is straight through, so you can see that all the way through the cardstock is the shaded spruce. Now with two-tone cardstock, if you can see, it's got kind of like that white core in it. So the darker Poppy Parade is printed on one side, and then the lighter shade of it is printed on the other. So when you tear this, or when you use an embossing folder on it and then a sanding block, it's going to reveal that white paper core that's in the center. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to add, you know, with the red and the green, I wanted to add a little bit more white. So on on both of the long edges on here. I'm going to tear towards me, and I'm not looking to have it straight. So if I got some like jagged looking edges, that's what I want to go with. Okay, so I'm going to do that on one side, and then I'm going to do it again on the other. I'll try and get it in one shot, and it just wants to tear. Like so. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. I'm going to add some glue on the back. Okay, and then I'm going to add this kind of like around, find about the middle. Okay, and I'm going to line it up on the folded edge, so that's lined up. And then I'm just going to press down. So I think I had cut this just a teeny tiny bit longer, so then that way I knew it was going to be long enough. So to trim off that excess, I'm going to bring in my little guillotine paper trimmer, and I'm going to have the arm down a little bit. I'm going to butt the edge of that shaded spruce cardstock to that, check the bottom, see if that's lined up to the edge, and then I'm just going to trim, and it's going to remove that excess two-tone cardstock, so now you don't see it on that side. Okay, I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to actually need that for my next card. Wow, I really did a good number on putting green ink all over me. All right, so let me close up my glue, and let me get my punch, and we'll punch out our Merry and Bright. Okay, and then I'm going to get some dimensionals, add that to the back. So, and then I'm going to take this, I want to place this over on this side. So I'm basically looking at this flat edge and lining it up with that edge on the right side. So I'll place that right there. Make sure it okay. Then I'm going to bring in the white Baker's Twine. This is from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And I'm going to create a little bow with this. Oops, come on. Okay. All right, and then I need a glue dot. Okay. Put my bow on there, or the knot actually. Pull that off. I'm going to kind of roll this glue dot onto the back of that knot. Okay, and then I'm going to add my bow right over here on the side of my punch, and get my scissors, and we'll trim trim like so. Actually, we'll trim these just a tiny bit shorter. Wow, how do I end up with so much green ink on me? Normally, I don't get ink all over my fingers, so I don't know if it's the chamois or what. Maybe the chamois needs to get rinsed out. Alright, so again, I didn't add like any other embellishments like sequins or anything, but of course you can add that. I think our loose gold sequins would look great on that. As a matter of fact, I see a little tiny extra thread right there, so let's just trim that off. Okay, so again, any like bling you want to add on to it, that would be great. It's just the amount of time that I had and trying to get so much cards made and video content put together. Yeah, so again, a very simple design. Just a little stamping, punching, and then some tearing, and there you go. There is our first card. Okay, so now our second one. So this card is perfect if you're like me, if you have designer series paper left. So we got the paper that is the Traditions of Christmas. Pretty paper. So when you have a lot of paper, you got to find ways to use it and not hoard it like I had done for such a long time. Okay, so for this card, my card base is going to be Cherry Cobbler, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of basic black that measures 4 5/8 by 3 1/4. I have a piece of that Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper that measures, what is this, 4 by 3.5. I have a scrap piece of basic white, and then I also have a scrap piece of gold foil. So I'm going to start with folding and burnishing my card base. And bone folder. This one goes together pretty quick. So, of course, my cardstock's a little warped, so that's why I don't want to stay down. What I'm going to do first before I start cutting and assembling, I'm going to take my scrap piece of white and I'm going to stamp my greeting. And I'm going to stamp that very same greeting we used in the first card in Cherry Cobbler. Okay, ink this up. Apologize for the shaking. And I'm going to stamp that right there. Okay. Let's clean this. It's definitely going to be stained. But as long as it's clean, then you're good to go. Wow. There's got to be a lot of green in this chamois. That's why I got it all over my fingers. Alright, let me close this up. I'm going to let this dry before I go and punch that out. So I'm going to take care of the other parts of this card. Okay, so on my basic black piece, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this. And I cased this card off of Brenda Quintana. The only thing that I changed up was that I didn't add embellishments. Again, feel free to add whatever embellishments that you want on it. I kind of like I think because this has so much of the gold in it, that I don't know. I don't think I need to really add any. So I want to make sure I got this in the right direction. So this is 4 by 3.5. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer again. And on the long edge, so this is our 4-inch side, I am going to cut this down into 1-inch strips. So get the 3, and then I want to keep these in order. So as I cut them, I want to make sure that I keep them in order. Okay, and then one more, because there's not much up here to but the top of it. I'm just going to line it up to that line. Okay, so there's 3, and then there's 4. All right, so then I'm going to take my adhesive. I'm bringing my card, and I'm going to place this right about here, and then I'm going to take the other end. So I'm going to put the outer end strips down first, and then I will put the other ones in there. So this is to kind of, you know, to equally space them. All right, so then this one, and I'm not fully pressing these down quite yet in the event that I have to do any adjusting at all. So I'll put that one down. And then we got this one. So I do have to shift that one over a little bit. So this one right here. Shift it over a little bit. Okay, so that looks good. So now I'm going to press these all down. Okay, then I'm going to take my punch, and I'm going to punch out my gold piece of foil here. Now my piece isn't really all that, nothing to really grab onto, so I just want to make sure that it's in there. And then I'm going to punch. Okay, and then on, so we got our foil. Let me just kind of press the edges down like so. Okay, so then on this piece, I am going to cut this out, and I'm going to cut right along that stamped edge, so that you don't see any white around it. And it's not too bad cutting out. Fussy cutting is not one of those things that I enjoy doing, unless it's really, really simple like this. And of course, when you're mass producing, there's some people that actually like to fussy cut. One of the other options, what I would do if mass producing this card, I do have a Brother Scan and Cut. I would end up stamping a whole bunch of these and then let that thing cut it out. So again, use whatever designer series paper you have. And again, you know, if you use this stamp set, you do have greetings like for New Year's and for Halloween, and looks like Thanksgiving, and is there a birthday? May your day be sweet. Okay, that could almost pass for birthday, so you can use it for birthday as well. Okay, so I'm going to take some adhesive, put it on the back of this piece, and then I'm going to center it right here on my gold foil, like so. press that down. Let me do it this way. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up. And we're going to call this card done. So very quick and easy. And again, it's a good thing. It's a good card if you are looking to use up some of that designer series paper that you have left. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to add it right there. And there you go. So again, you can add embellishments to this if you want. To me, if I'm using designer series paper that has like some foiling in it, it kind of gives it that bit of bling. So, but yeah, very simple. So cherry cobbler and gold, and then just that bit of black in the background. And again, I cased this card from Brenda Quintana, or she also goes by QB's Quest. So there we go. So there is our second card that we did with the cherry cobbler and the gold. And then this one that I kind of cased out of the online, it's in the online store. This bundle wasn't in a catalog. It was online exclusive. So, but yeah, I kind of like how that came out. And again, you can change up the colors, you can change up the greeting, and you can make this, you know, as a birthday card or whatever occasion or thank you, whatever it may be. So, um, pretty quick. So again, it was it 32 minutes and I got these two cards done. So pretty quick and easy cards to create if you're mass producing your Christmas cards. So just a couple of things. Again, this is my monthly Christmas card inspiration that would normally post on March 1st. I'm very close. It's now technically the 2nd. Um, I will be working on my newsletter to go out on Tuesday, March 3rd. In my newsletter, I include my whole video schedule, so I let you know between my Thursdays and Fridays and all that what products I'm going to be using in my videos. My Thursdays are pre-recorded. I go live on Fridays at 6 p.m. Central Time, and of course Fridays I'm using current product. And then there's Throwback Thursday, that's the retired. So I will be creating that. Then anything that I would be doing right now, I'm not really doing any in-person classes. However, that can change if somebody is local here in Memphis and is interested. Just send me an email. The email is in the description, and I'd be more than happy to, you know, to put something together. Uh, Anything Stampin' Up is doing as far as any promotions, what's new, what's going on. The new kits that they come out with every month, I include information about that, and the paper pumpkin, and whatever else there may be. Now, my newsletter, I typically, like I said, it goes out near the beginning of the month, and I usually do just one. Now, the only time I'll do more than one is if, say, in the middle of the month or whatever, Stampin' Up! Comes out with some special promotion, then I'll do a modified newsletter, and I would send that out to everyone who signed up for my newsletter. I will definitely not be one that would bombard you with emails every single day because honestly, I just wouldn't have time to do that. So, but if you are interested and you want to know what my video schedule is going to be here on YouTube, in the description there is a link. It's for constant contact. When you click on that link, you add your first and last name and your email, and you're added to my email list. And then when I go to send out my newsletter, you will receive it. Now, I try to get it out like earlier in the day, but then sometimes it may not be until like early evening. So if you like, again, if you'd like to receive that, the link is below. There are some things that are going to be that are changing with Stampin' Up. I did talk about those back on Friday night when I did my live. So all that information is there. Even about the information about how the catalogs are changing and about the ink pads and things like that. This is March 1st, so the bonus days redemption thing is done. That finished on February 28th. Product of the month, actually on Tuesday. I do know what the new product of the month is going to be. It's going to be a stamp set. So that will be available to purchase on March 3rd. And I think that is all that I have for you, everybody. It's been quite an evening. 3 videos back to back recorded, so I'm caught up. Yay! So now to just come up with what I'm going to be doing for Thursday and for Friday, and I think actually Friday I'm going to be using a new bundle that just came out in our March online exclusives, the Cutest Crew. It's got birds, it's got dogs, it's got cats, and it's just so stinking cute. So I will be featuring that this coming Friday at 6 p.m. Central. So hope that you'd be able to help to join us. And I also give away those cards that I make as well that on my lives. So if you like the projects, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell. It'll let you know when I post a video or when I go live. And that not only helps me in growing my YouTube channel, it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business as well. And between likes and comments and shares and subscribing, all of that really does help, and I truly, truly appreciate for any little bit. There's lots of video content out there. This is going to make 349 videos, I believe. And so, again, I have monthly Christmas card inspiration. I have Throwback Thursdays, my Friday Night Lives, Paper Pumpkin. So there's quite a bit of content out there. And when I do my Friday Night Lives, I actually create a PDF of the projects that are free. So there is a link on those Friday in the description on those Friday videos to where you can click on it and you can access it from my Google Drive. You can download it. There's the link, the date that's on it. There's a link that takes you back to the video. So there's over 100 of those out there. So, lots of stuff that I have out there. So go ahead and check that out. So until next month, come April 1st, will be another monthly Christmas card inspiration video. Hope to, well, not hope to see you there because I will be pre-recording it. So again, I have to figure out what it is I'm going to be using when that time comes. So hope this gave you some inspiration, and happy Christmas card making, everybody. Bye bye.